Welcome guys, and we are tonight doing a very special bat rep. We have three hombres here, Shannon, Dieter and Carl sitting at the back on the ledge of the, about to fall off maybe. And we're going to look now at a quick list, and we have, take it away, we've got Pierre's list.
So Pierre's running 3 pilot skill 9 ships, Jake Farrell, Hera Sedula and Poe Dameron. Jake's running Push the Limit, Proton Rockets, Autothrusters, and A-Wing Test Pilot, which lets him get Veteran Instincts. Hera Sedula, the attack shuttles, got Veteran Instincts, Twin Laser Turret, and Neon Numb for those straight greens. Poe Dameron's running Adaptability, R2D2 for the regeneration, and Autothrusters for that hard-to-hitness that everybody loves so much.
That is true, and that list does kick quite a bit, actually. And now we're going to quickly look at Mr. Steve Donn's list. Dieter.
Okay, Steven is running 5 Green Squadron A-Wing pilots. The first EPT is Adaptability. He's increasing his pilot skill to 4. His second EPT, which he gets from A-Wing Test Pilot, is Crack Shot, just to get rid of those annoying evades. He's running Chardaan Refit, which reduces his A-Wing's costs by -2. And he's running Autothrusters in his modification slot.
I just absolutely love the way you said Autothrusters, Dieter, I just have to say it.
Me too.
It's so sexy, so sexy. And Rebels all the way, 2 Rebel lists actually, and this was quite a tight game to actually watch as it was going down. I wasn't there much, I got taken out in the first round. But yeah, still a very entertaining game, especially 5 A-Wings, which is, you don't see that every day, and yeah, off we go. So let's have a look here.
So those ships have been placed. What has the adaptability done for them?
I think it's been an adaptability increase on all the ships, as the Stevens A-Wings are all pilot skill 4 from 3, and Hera Sedula, Poe Dameron has been increased from 8 to 9. So all of Pierre's ships are at pilot skill 9.
Yeah, and he's got some crazy synergy also in his list. And by the way, folks, Pierre's on the left and Steve Donn is on the right of the table. And I think they just deliberated it quickly, but there we go. The rulers are down and the game is officially on. But again, as I said earlier, 5 A-Wings in a list is not something, this is like rare. You don't see this every day.
You only see it when Steve decides to copy store champ lists.
Ooh, that's a burn, eh? And I hope Steve doesn't know where you live, Dieter, because yeah, he might just kill you in your sleep for that.
He's known where I live since we were 6 years old.
What do you think the big advantages of those 5 A-Wings? Because I mean, you're only getting 2 shots out of them.
I would probably go with maneuverability. I mean, those ships are lank, flexible regarding to what they can do. Their dials are fantastic. I mean, they're essentially Rebel interceptors at the end of the day. But with the synergy that he's got going, he's got 5 of them, which is going to be a slippery target to actually hit. I mean, I stand to be corrected. Yeah? I don't know what you think of that, Shan.
Well, 5... The A-Wings only have 2 attack, but with Crack Shot that actually makes it basically a 3 attack ship, because even on Poe Dameron with 2 evades and his free focus on anytime he rolls a focus, and with the Autothrusters, even if he gets 2 evades on the 2 attacks, you can still Crack Shot and do 1 damage. So that's 5 damage that can be dealt to Poe in 1 round, and that's him almost dead.
That's ouchies. And yeah, I mean, it's like a swarm. It is a swarm, but it's a very super agile, high maneuverable, synergetic sort of swarm. I mean, I would never have the balls to fly that because I'll mess it up. And I mean, and Steve Donn is a very talented pilot. I mean, he consistently gets in the top tiers in most tournaments. And I mean, and I think he was experimenting with this list. Well, I don't know what you guys think about that, but
it's sort of strange, because I mean, normally not strange, but I mean, normally you would see swarms coming from your Imperial lists.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is one of the few kind of Rebel swarms you can actually set up.
Yeah, you don't expect it, and I mean, and even now, the way that they're setting up on the ball, not setting up, but the way they're positioning themselves now in round 2. When I looked at this list the first time, I was like, I'm glad I'm not playing against it, because how do you react when you see a list like that, especially, like I said, something as unique and as rare as 5 A-Wings. But I mean, yeah, that's Steve Donn. I mean, he always, for me, sometimes thinks way out of the box, and again, talented pilot, knows what he's doing, and yeah, And then we've got Pierre on the left, who, don't ever count him out, I think. I mean, Shan, you've flown against him, everyone here has flown against Pierre.
Pierre has amazing psychological warfare.
Yep. And here we go, we finally see them turning in, and also a very interesting asteroid placement. Quite uniform in a way, I would say, like a V shape. But is there a reason why they probably all went big rocks, or I don't know? What do you think?
I think that they're both playing quite maneuverable ships, so getting between the asteroids won't be too much of a problem. The positioning of the asteroids gives Pierre, where he set up, quite a bit of maneuverability in the beginning. If he decided to go forward, if Steve Donn turned into the asteroids to try and maneuver through them, he would have more space to position beforehand, where Steve would have to then fly through asteroids. But instead, Steve went rocketing up the side to come around the back, which is better for him because now Pierre has to turn through the asteroids, and when Steve turns around and fires at Pierre's list, he'll be able to even K-turn without the risk of landing on an asteroid.
Well, that makes sense to me. To be honest, I did not think that far, Shane. So, that's why I always get eliminated so quickly, because you guys are just so freaking good.
I just feel that the big rocks help you to fly a lot better.
Yeah.
You think about your positioning a lot more when there's a bigger rock in front of you.
And more surface to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we did see bumpage in some of the earlier games, like our previous video we had Charles Freestone versus Yanni Moritz, and in there was a couple of situations where the guys were flying very close to the obstacles, and that is a thing. You always have to factor that in. I mean, because if you hit the rock, you got problems. But yeah, I mean, and again, the guys are now just obviously positioning themselves, and I think the next round the paddy's going to hit the grill, and stuff's going to go down here. But an interesting thing on Pierre's list is that small little shuttle there. I mean, that's quite a different sort of ship to play in this sort of list. I didn't expect him to play it.
You normally only see the shuttle on there with the Ghost, but flying it by itself isn't really something that's been done in our meta, which is actually rather interesting that Pierre's now giving it a go. So we'll see how it does.
Yeah.
I don't know, I wouldn't count that shuttle out. I mean, when we played that Blitz game, that shuttle lasted quite well.
Yeah.
The only thing it's missing is its target lock.
Yeah.
And for a rebel to not have a target lock.
Yeah, it's not the best, but
He just has to pretend to be an Imperial.
That is true. And again, Pierre's got a way of also, again, same as Steve Donn, thinking out of the box with lists and just coming up with very interesting ideas. I mean, this list he cooked up, and when he told me about it a day or two before the tournament, he sort of gave me a clue. He didn't tell me exactly what it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be something out there, and he wasn't flying his normal dash list either, so yeah.
Yeah, setting up with the bumps and going full into the draft.
Yeah.
Now Pierre's in an interesting position here because Steve can do 2 forwards with all his A-wings and get focuses all around, whereas Pierre now has to evade asteroids and his other ships to try and get arcs with all of them to shoot in this round.
Yeah. So it could potentially be a firing squad, death by 1,000 A-wing cuts probably, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely in the better position at this stage.
Steve going for range 1 to get those 3 attacks on the 2 evades, except on that A-wing.
I definitely expected the boost there.
I didn't, again. That's why I suck. No jokes.
But look,
I try, okay?
Dieter's
I
played
try.
enough against Steve to kind of read him.
Yes, that is it. And the guys just quickly deliberating here a little bit. I mean, this is high level game here, and it's knockout. So if you make a duty, you are out of the tournament. And
I think Steve has made a mistake flying towards the asteroid without barrel rolls.
Yeah,
that's where the interceptor has advantage over the A-wing, because if that was an interceptor, there would have probably been a barrel roll to its right.
Or left.
Yeah, I think left actually would have been a better call.
Left, then a boost to the right.
We've got the A-wings trading some paint up there, some bumpage, and again, I'm very keen to see how the dice are going to come out, because both of these guys roll really well half the time. Although Pierre, I don't know, we've heard rumors Pierre does weird rituals with his dice and things like that, because constant hits and constant evades. Yeah.
I don't know, it looks like Pierre's shivering there a little bit.
No, he's working it out in his head.
Those bumps that Steve's doing, do you think those are intentional?
Look, sometimes nerves play. The previous video, there was some bumpage going on, and again, I feel the onus is on the players themselves to sort of, regulate the gameplay and not necessarily rush each other, and just play fair, and if you think someone is doing something a bit slightly dodged, then you call them, and that's why we have a TO. Peter Hayward was there the whole day, did a fantastic job, and if anything comes up, that's why you call the TO. He is like the umpire, he's going to call the shots there.
Yeah,
But,
we did have a few rushed incidents at
Yes.
the store champs, but it was only brought up afterwards.
Yeah. Look, as long as things get rectified and the problems sort of get fixed, and that,
Now here's a rough situation for Poe, not having a focus with 2 A-wings at range 1.
That looks nice.
yeah, he's gonna get it. Maybe not.
Is there a recharge there on Per?
Yes, he's got R2D2.
Yeah. So green is good.
Green is Per's friend.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah, I need to actually start switching to that droid and not the R5P9, because
Yeah,
Doesn't always work for me.
R5P9 forces you to keep your focus.
Yeah.
It depends. It is a little bit situational, but
Because R2 forces the green maneuver every turn, and that makes you slightly more predictable, whereas with R5P9, you generally don't use your focus on your evades unless you roll 2 focuses by some miracle, or if you use it on your attack, which you generally don't because Poe is normally a higher pilot skill. So keeping the focus with R5P9 gives you much more flexibility in your maneuvers. You can do your white maneuvers and your green maneuvers and not just be limited to the greens.
and the first attack is happening.
the dice are coming. All right. Oh, thank you, Pierre.
Yes,
He's
very
rolling
nice.
there for us, and that's a hit and 2 focuses. Oh, crit. Sorry, and 2 focuses
crit
and
there.
1
One
evade.
evade.
So well done.
So the A-Wings live.
Well, still early days, but it's gonna be interesting.
Looks like the shuttle might have arc there.
And here we go. Peter Howard stepping in.
TO
That's
checking it.
yeah. That's
They
why
call
the
the
TO is there
TO.
to make those tough calls. Obviously they're checking if
Through the
through
asteroid.
the rock there. Yeah. And it's critical. Decisions like this could make or break your strategy. I mean, you could potentially take hits that you shouldn't be taking. Sometimes it happens.
That extra evade might just save you the crit that does 2 damage
Exactly.
and blows up your ship.
Yep. So here we go. Let's see what Pierre gets out now.
He's using his twin laser turret.
Nah, 2 hits, and that looks like
like
one.
a damage.
That was an evade, but re-rolling again, and
Another evade.
yeah.
Oh.
So well done by Steve Donn to not take anything there.
And I mean, number of dice in this game is very valuable.
Oh yeah.
Although the
three-
green dice are quite fickle.
Yes.
Would
But
you
the 3 evades make a big difference against TLT.
Well, according to Dieter, 2 evades is better than 3 evades. Eh?
2 evades gives me more solid results.
And evaded again. So you see again there the dice coming into favour for Pierre.
No decision by Steve to use crack shot on that though.
Yeah. Might be a bit early. It might be a bit early for it, but yeah.
I'm not sure we're 100% on when to use crack shot yet, because I feel if you wait long enough, your ship might just die and then you
Yeah.
haven't had the chance to use it
There
yet.
we go. Shields.
That's sort of what I had in mind there.
Yep, and that was
So that's
yeah.
a shield off.
Shields
Poe.
are-
You just check 44 to see if that's
Yep.
through a rocket code.
Again, the TO steps in to clarify, and now it's just checking a little bit of either arc or range there. I think it's probably going to be arc again. And this is also where bumpage for me is something that can change it, because you can move a ship slightly and then suddenly now you're in cover or you're not, So these sort of tournaments, I just think there needs to be emphasis on playing as carefully as you can, but obviously not stalling the table either, But
Checking for that asteroid shot.
I think he's going to do it now. But again, Pierre with his dials.
2 on Per.
That's a crit and evaded again.
No, he took another shield.
Yeah, Steve used crack shot on that.
Ah, okay.
So how many of his crack shots has he used?
So
Just
focus on
one
the
so
hit.
far.
And 2 evades again.
Well done, Pierre.
Pierre's been consistent.
He always is.
I think if Pierre's busy sitting his dial when he's supposed to be rolling your fades.
That's how he rolls. That's how he rolls.
Yeah, you know why Pierre does that? It's like he can put his dials down and then he can start with the psychological warfare.
Exactly. But here we go. So some teamwork here and just helping with to see where the ships are going. And again, every move counts here, and it looks like it might bump there on no. No, it's through.
What's up, going for the K?
Looks like a 5k.
Yep.
That is
5k with a back A-wing.
In much more favourable position, but I wonder if what he's going to be doing with the A-wing that's there on the far right. You know, what will that?
He looks like he should be able to clear the asteroid without hitting it with 5k.
That's going to be close.
That's if he's even doing a 5k, but if he follows the A-wing that he's moving now, he might be doing a bank with that one as well.
And it's massive traffic jam there. It's on the table now. See, this is a nightmare. I dread when games get like this, especially when you're flying swarms. There's always some sort of a sandwich going on somewhere, and then it's just.
And then there's templates placed.
Yes, and
templates lifted before you should put the ship back on the table.
Yep. That's happened. That's happened to everyone.
too many
Too
times.
many. I agree, Carl. Far too many times.
Again with the dials.
That's the nature of this game, unfortunately.
But here we go. So interesting to see what will happen next.
So that's moving the one A-wing out of the battle there.
That's an interesting move from Steve.
I wonder if he had many other options though, because if that A-wing tried to turn into the battle, it would have gone over the asteroid or bumped.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah,
he
but
had turned
sometimes you risk
away
that,
from
eh?
the battle, then he sort of is limited with his maneuvers in the next turn.
But then also that's what's a mess in the middle there, where they are. There's just so much.
I think Pierre has created a good situation for himself because Steve is now facing away from most of his ships.
He took the one round of shooting on his shields, and now he's in a favorable position.
And that TLT gives him a nice range as well.
Yep.
Look, that's the strength of Steven's list, is the fact that he has so many A-wings. So now he's gone and just turned two of them out of the battle.
Live to fight another day, man. But let's see what the shuttle's going to be doing now.
He's changing his maneuver.
Using near none.
Yep. Crazy combo that, actually. It's again, shows you just.
That's Hera's ability. You can reveal a green maneuver and then you can rotate your dial to another maneuver of the same difficulty.
Comboing that with the near num makes all the straight screen and the bank screen as well.
Yep,
Just opens up so much possibilities.
it does.
A bit of a shift there up here.
I'm not gonna complain. Are you gonna complain? Yeah, maybe we should. No. Like I said, you can't. You know, it's a miniatures game. If things like that happen, it's just, you know.
Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
He's a store champ. He's allowed to.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's wearing a Yoda shirt. He has the Force on his side.
He's all good. They both are wearing Yoda shirts. I'm actually looking at this now, and you pointed it out. Wow. And some lockage going on there, and the PTL, so... It's just checking arc. I don't think he...
Jake does not have arc on that back A-wing.
Ooh, shifting there.
Poe shifted a bit.
I sometimes happen because of those damn pointy bits on those T70s. You just by accident pick it up or shift it with the rulers, and that's terrible, man. It happens. Holy moly! Okay, that's the crit and 2 hits, and we have blanks and a focus, and that's more shields off.
Steve Donn showing us the crit there.
Yeah.
Not double damage though.
Yeah.
So one of his A-wings is almost out of the fight.
my
And Pierre
word,
rolls it again.
So we have
2 hits and a crit.
And well, we got the focusing
Again,
in his
consistency out of.
Yeah, I can't see, but
Oh, and Steve loses an A-ring.
that's it. That's it, kabloomy. And that's quite hectic, eh? I mean, like
And that's 3 fewer dice being rolled at Poe.
that's it.
With one less crack shot.
So now some decisions need to be made here. And I don't think Steve expected that A-wing to go down that quickly. But again, those sort of rolls coming out and crits being there all the time, you know, it makes a huge difference.
The red dice are always more favourable.
Steve making sure he doesn't use that A-wing, taking the cards completely away.
That's a good call.
Yeah, like Dieter said earlier, the fickleness of green dice can sometimes bite you in the butt.
Yep. Alright, so just more arc checking and the dice are going, and that's a hit and a blank. And nothing!
He's
Uh-oh.
using a shield on his shuttle.
Uh-oh.
How many shields does that shuttle have?
Only 2.
So here we go. Turning in.
I don't know, even though that ship only has 2 shields, it's still something you shouldn't underestimate.
No.
Especially with that turret. I think the turret gives it so much flexibility.
Moving in, yeah, and there might be some bumpage there, but want to see.
Looks like he attempted a boost, but there
Yeah.
wasn't enough space.
And he's going for the lock. So it looks like he's got it in for that shuttle. I think he's realizing the potential that that shuttle actually has in this particular game.
Oh, just nicely
That's-
flipped in there. Ah, no, it's a bump.
No, I
A
think
little
that's
bit.
That's
looks
a bump.
like a bump.
Yep, so no actions for that A-wing.
Again, both players sort of coming to agreement with that, which is fantastic. Because it sucks. I mean, there's nothing worse than you thinking you've got it and you're gonna successfully pilot through that stuff, and then you smack into your own ship. That's not nice.
So Steve not really in a very good position at the moment. Most of his ships will be pointing away from Pierre's ships this turn.
He's got 2 A-wings chasing Pierre's A-wing and a shuttle.
But they have yet to move, which means they're probably going to escape
Yeah,
arc. And Pierre's probably, most likely going to get one of those A-wings, or 2 of them in arc.
Yep, and another bump.
A lot of bumping coming from Steve this game.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ships blocking lanes, and I mean, those
It's gonna
right
be-
in the beginning we were talking about the rocks and the placement. It's tricky because there's more
Yeah.
surface area to hit now, you know. So,
I mean,
do you bump into your own ship or do you slap into a rock? I mean, what would you prefer? You know?
Pierre getting that shuttle way out there.
Yeah, he's getting GTFO there.
That's the advantage of the TLT. He doesn't need to face his enemy to shoot.
Yep.
Well, I suppose it's better that he pulled it out so far, because I mean, at range 1, that TLT is useless.
Yep.
And Poe's just going for the recharge.
Getting those shields back, and again,
I think that's an excellent plan.
Yeah.
That recharge is a very powerful mechanic.
Even though he's in range 1 of that A-wing, that is only the one A-wing that can shoot him.
And here comes Pierre swinging in, and
But that's why he went for the focus.
yeah.
Just for that extra little bit of defense.
Poe's ability for me is just also incredible. But I wonder how the new wave is going to affect seeing him in some of the top lists, because you know not everybody's playing him as much anymore, especially with some of the new ships.
Well, a lot of the newer, where am I coming from? A lot of the nationals guys, and especially overseas, are focusing a lot on the newer waves.
Yeah.
They're playing all the new ships.
Here we go. Again, look at that.
And that is
And fully evaded by
Autothrusters.
Donn.
Autothrusters coming
And
in
again, 2 rolls,
save his life.
and not as fortunate this time.
One shield off.
Oh my word. Will you look at that?
Range 1 proton rockets.
That is disgusting.
That's not.
That is a dead A-wing.
That is. Wow. I
Yeah.
actually want to throw
Pierre's
up
on
now.
fire.
Yeah.
He's just picking through
Yeah.
the list there.
But the thing is, you want to say, you always think A-wing, super agile, you know, like, and
3 evade dice.
ouchies.
That's why I don't take 3 agility ships, because I know the green dice hate me.
Green dice hate everybody.
Well, I think Pierre,
Except Pierre by the sound.
yeah, Pierre needs to probably start a dice rolling clinic, you know.
Me on
And,
the other side, all dice hate me.
I'm not sure that's a good idea. I don't want to know what goes on in that clinic.
but here we go. So I hope Don can at least manage to take out,
that ordnance,
give some back, you know.
that ordnance that Pierre used, that was on his A-wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake Farrell.
Proton rockets in an A-wing. That's 5 attack dice at range 1.
It's brutal. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Not
we
much
might
better.
see a lot more proton rockets, especially with the Inquisitor as well.
Yeah.
It's very powerful on that ship.
But yeah, just I want to see some fight back here now, because so far Pierce has been dishing it out, but hasn't quite been taking it. So I'm hoping at least something's gonna die soon.
Well, Jake and Poe are both on full health, and the shuttle's only lost 1 shield.
Well, you never know. Could be one turns with a bad rolling and then it can swing. But at this stage, yeah, it's not looking too great.
As I was saying earlier about the crack shot, I think it's better if you use it earlier, because now Steve has lost 2 of his A-wings without being able to use their crack shots.
Yeah.
I also don't think he expected to lose this many ships this early.
That is also true. Especially since he's running 3 agility ships with autothrusters against a ship with a turret. You don't expect them to die as quickly as they have.
I'm just having a look here. It does look like that they're going to move in. But Carl, you wanted to point something out on the list.
Oh no, I was just making sure what Jake's ability is there. I mean, for Pierre allowing him to get the extra barrel roll in there. Which is great on an A-wing.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, Pierre knows the A-wing in and out, because when we generally play Blitz tournaments, that's his go-to ship.
Especially Tycho,
Yes.
where you don't have to worry about stress at all.
Yeah, but that's bitten him in the butt already. Because you load up 5 stresses and then you get... Okay, fair enough, the A-wing will just about be dead. But you get that crit that tells you don't use your pilot abilities or you can't.
Yeah,
Then you're sitting with 5
then,
stresses that you can do nothing with.
yep. But here we go, we're back to the dice, and let's see what's going to happen here. See if Pierre can continue. What the hell? Again,
It's only 2
hits.
more hits and only 1 evade.
Just keep on coming. Shame.
Just chipping away at those poor little A-wings.
Pierre zones in on 1 at a time.
Again,
Strange that Steve didn't use autothrusters on that last attack.
yeah.
He remembered there.
Oh,
And
again.
this is the autothruster. This is the twin laser
Oh,
turret.
3
brutal.
focuses.
I think we should play a game where we should each take a drink every time Pierre rolls a hit.
Oh,
But
we
I'm
will
worried
not
we
finish the
will
commentary.
we will not blasted when it's done.
Nobody's getting home alive that night.
That's incredible.
There'll be widows in the morning.
That's similar to Sharkwing.
Hit and a blank, and what the? Again, this is incredible. So a hit and a blank and a reroll there, and it's a blank again. Spent a target lock, and again evade. Okay, didn't quite evade everything there, but still, I mean that's.
He
But
evaded
that's-
it, but it was crack shotted once again.
That's straight up raw dice from Pierre.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, it's that refinery air, bro.
Ooh, pulling in a tight move on the asteroid there. Lucky he didn't hit it.
Steve's very versed in the way his ships can move.
Again, he has to be very careful now, because Pierre's sitting pretty with full hull ships, taking a couple of shields here and there, but other than that, hasn't posed much of a threat else. If you look at some of the things that has happened to Steve's list in this turn, the previous turns, I actually feel for him.
Well, we have a 3v3 here at the moment, but again, you've got a shuttle with a turret, and you have Poe that's going to be firing 3 shots now, versus the A-Wings that still only have 2.
Possibly 4 shots if he does a 1 straight or a 1 bank. He might have that A-Wing in arc.
Steve, having used 2 of his crack shots, basically has half his lifts left, having lost 2 A-Wings and all the shields on one of them.
Kate in there. Bringing Jake back in.
Basically shot, but it was more of a...
But again, the choices here.
I don't know, I think Pierre made a little bit of a calculated risk there, getting the A-Wings to chase the shuttle.
He's kind of leading them away, and again, just shooting up straight up. And I think Poe's just there smiling in his cockpit, waiting to turn in, because that might be the end game there, is to kind of get in there and get lots of damage in there. But
the 1 straight.
Yeah, blocking it
There's the
now.
bump.
No, not a bump.
That is range 1 on 2 A-Wings though.
Yeah.
Somebody's going down.
Yep. Here we go. Let's see if I'll get the tequila, guys. Let's do this.
Oh. And Pierre rolls like a boss. 3 hits.
Nasty.
Oh! I think. Oh, shields off the A-Wing there.
Heal. That's it. That's ouchies.
Here comes the TLT to hopefully finish
TLT
it off.
shots.
That's
Spin
two,
the focus, 2 hits,
but
2
well
evades.
done.
Well done, Steve.
Second shot.
Just
1 hit.
And he
And
gets
an
it.
evade.
Alright.
Range 3.
Yep. Now let's see if you can keep this up. What? What? Oh,
No,
but
it's-
And
well done. Well done.
Steve's
Steve
coming
had
back in.
Steve
Yeah.
had a good roll.
Now is Steve going to take the bait with Poe at range 1 or is he
I
going
think
to
he's
keep
gonna-
hammering the shuttle?
Oh, for a second I thought he was going to pick up a chair and hit Pierre, but I was just checking. So let's have a look here.
So I don't think Poe's in arc of that A-Wing.
No. It's always good to clarify, and I mean both of these guys are like really, really, really experienced players, so but you can never be super, super certain on certain things. Sometimes you just got to get in there and check it yourself. And
Steve rolls
wow,
3 hits.
and nicely
Only 1
done.
evade. 2 shields coming off Poe.
Yep.
Decent shot.
Yeah.
And I think he spent his crack shot as
Second
well
shot.
to get those 3 shields. Spending a focus.
There we go. 2 hits. And what
2
the hell?
evades. Come on, Pierre. Come on.
Wow. Wow.
That second A,
But
third
that's
A-Wing
good.
is in arc.
That's still,
One hit.
yeah.
1 hit
Takes a
on
hit.
Poe.
So now the question is, who do you going to try and gun down first here now? I mean, would you go for Poe? Would you go for the shuttle? I mean, the A-Wing's obviously not going to be any target right at this stage, but I mean,
I think in the current position where Poe is and where the A-Wings are facing, looks like Steve's doing the 5k, so he's actually going to go for the no, he's doing a 5
5
forward.
straight.
That's interesting unless he does a boost now, because
I
that
think he's
shuttle's
going
going
to
be
boost, yeah. Boost to the right because he wants to catch the shuttle.
And there's the advantage of having Nien Num, because Pierre can just put down a 1 straight, and then he can change his maneuver to any green maneuver.
that's just ridiculous. I don't think I've seen any other list like this list that he's flying.
No.
It's very, very well thought out.
No boost for that A-Wing at the top.
I really think Steve is making a big mistake by leaving Poe alone.
Yeah, he's got him down to 1 damage card. I don't know why he didn't finish him off.
That's why I think, maybe going for the shuttle, he maybe feels the shuttle is a bigger threat. But at this stage, again, like you guys said, Poe's there, 2-hole left.
It could also be that the shuttle's new and shiny from Wave 8 and he's going after the shiniest target.
It could be.
Ooh, shiny.
Because Poe in his current position is actually about as weak as you'll get him
Yeah,
until he actually focuses him down again.
Yeah.
And Poe's recharging his shields again.
I think the next time that Steve gets to engage Poe, he'll have all his shields back.
Yeah.
Pierre placed his target up there.
I mean, a good maneuver for Steve would have been to somehow block Poe with the one
Yeah, box him in.
and then just flatten him with the other two.
Yeah, but I think where his A-wings were, I don't know if they would have been able to get into that position.
K-turn on 2 of them, one of them block.
You can tell Pierre didn't expect those moves
Yeah.
because Jake could have done a odd one just to keep A-wings in arc.
Does he go push the limit on Jake?
Yes.
Yeah, he does. So he can potentially get 3 actions a turn.
I just kind of feel a little bit sorry for that shuttle at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to feel it this turn.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see where he's going to fly now.
Deciding if he wants to change his maneuver.
I go 4-4 and if I don't get out.
Again, I also think Pierre didn't maybe think that they were all going to go for the shuttle. Maybe both. I don't know.
Well, we've got 2 A-wings that have target locks on the shuttle.
I think this is going to be painful.
Opting to try and get range 3 on those 2 A-wings at the back.
And I think he succeeded. Gives him a nice defense bonus.
Well, as well, those 3 A-wings will... It doesn't matter which one the shuttle goes for, he'll have Autothrusters on him.
He's checking range and Pierre prepping.
Going for an
How many
A-wing that has
hits?
no shields left.
What?
I don't know how he
It's
rolls.
like you can have run his own show. Or just watch Pierre roll hits all freaking day. That's ridiculous.
And
Steve with more
that's
focus.
one more dead A-wing.
Wow.
He should have gone for Poe.
Wow.
Oh well, that's where it cost Steve big time.
Although even if you went for Poe, Pierre could have used Near Numb to make Hera do a shorter maneuver and still had range on the TLT.
That is true, Shandon.
One hit.
Just one hit.
Even
Even off
one
the
evade.
blanks.
Was it an evade there?
And 2 hits and a focus and spinning focus and oi. Okay. A little bit of luck ran out there.
So 1 damage on the shuttle. Spent his
Shuttle's
focus.
still in it to win it.
That third A-wing would have made all the difference.
Yep. Man, that is crazy. Coming in. So now they're right behind that shuttle. So
Still going straight for the shuttle.
yep.
Well, he needs 1 more hit on that shuttle.
I do think at this stage, Steve has probably already realized that somewhere in the background the dinner bell has rung.
Yeah.
You know, it's at that point in the game where you kind of think, what more can you pull out of the hat here? And I would go here on a limb and say it's just, good flying by Pierre, but also those dice rolls.
Those dice rolls.
I don't know what Pierre has in his porridge in the morning.
Dice. High fiber dice. He eats them.
Breakfast of champions.
Breakfast of champions. Breakfast of store champions, bro. Again, checking maneuvers. So, yeah, I mean, Poe can sit back and relax now,
No, he's just getting his shields back.
Yep.
Ready for the next round of shooting.
That is, yes, the shuttle could have just done a slow maneuver, but the point is, Steve could have taken Poe out.
Yeah. He had the
That
choice.
wouldn't have given him the opportunity to recharge, which he has now.
I think maybe just at that point, he just thought the shuttle would be a logical choice. That's something that he can get the hits on. Then again,
that shuttle will kill the one arc of that A-wing. Goes for the evade.
Interesting. Right, it's a focus.
Yeah. I think he wants to focus just in case he can.
So let's see what's
he can
going to
pull off a
happen.
good
Yeah.
attack.
Okay.
Exactly like that.
Wow.
There's the focus.
Oh, but evaded.
And-
Well done.
Spending Steve's focus there, though.
Yep.
Yeah. And 2 more hits.
Nope.
That is ouchies.
No sir. No sir.
1 more damage on that A-wing. And I think Jake's in a very good position to
Jake's gonna take
Finish it
advantage
off.
of that.
take
Yep.
out that A-wing before he can shoot back at the shuttle.
Yep. Let's see what he gets. My word. Crit and hits. Ah, but evaded. Well done. Well done. So still gonna go for it.
Steve changing up some dice there.
He has to. I mean, those dice are clearly. Oh, beautifully done. And double focus. So you see,
goes down.
now if he kept it, yeah, he had a focus on it earlier. So
Yeah,
if he kept it,
spent
but
it to get that TLT attack.
it's a fair trade. But now it's gonna be this is gonna be a battle of wills here. I don't know what Steve can pull out of the hat still. He doesn't have any ordnance. He never had any ordnance, or did he?
No.
Okay, throwing that target lock into the perfect position.
Yeah, that's how good he is.
I just think that Poe is a bastard.
I agree.
Weird
Yeah.
play there by Steve with that 5 forward.
Yeah,
I think he's just trying to get away.
yeah.
He wants to survive.
Take advantage of Autothrusters. Range 3.
Just because
But I think Jake's gonna definitely get in closer.
Yeah. And he's got his target lock ready.
Gets the free boost.
Yeah.
Opting not to use barrel roll.
unfortunately I have to agree with you.
Well, I mean, he's in within 2 there, I'd
He
say.
just wants to get closer to
Yeah.
the damaged A-wing.
And here comes Popo.
Back up to full health.
Yeah.
Except for that damage card.
I mean, that must feel terrific. You know, full shields, coming back in.
Very good play from Pierre there. Nicely positioned.
Actually
Just
feel a
3
little
shots
sad.
on the A-wing.
Little sad now for that A-wing.
Even at range 3 with Autothrusters, this is gonna...
Okay,
Oh,
that's just
not
one
too
hit.
bad.
Oy, but he managed to evade that.
And Jake takes his shots
Oh,
Oh.
and spin the
Oh,
focus
my
for
word.
2 hits. And
one evade.
we have a dead A-wing.
pop. Now,
It was Jake at range 2 there.
One more lonely
yeah.
green squadron on the table.
yeah. Oh man,
Against a full health A-wing and an almost full health Poe.
yeah. Well, brave maneuver there. Just gonna make a last stand there. But I mean, yeah, it looks pretty bleak here for Steve right now.
I think Steve is just hoping he can get some more points out there.
Yeah.
Not that it really makes any difference right now.
No. Not really, like in this particular final, it was, you know, just all or nothing. I mean, you either
Yeah.
went in and you took it, or no points or MOB or anything fancy. It was just, you know, win
Kill
the
or
game.
be killed.
Yeah.
Tickets.
But yeah, let's see what's gonna happen here.
Oh, that just looks nasty.
Stay like that.
No, not something you wanna face up. Yeah, not at this stage. I mean, but he's still got shields. He can still bite back. But
Not for
Got the
long.
Autothrusters
yeah.
for that
And
range
here
3.
comes Pierre. And what the hell?
And
Again.
again with the amazing.
Whoa! But just
Wow.
this beautiful roll. And
That was-
nothing.
Blanks.
That was impressive, Pierre.
Yeah.
Very
That was
impressive.
bad. Even Steve counted that roll perfectly, and that was not so perfectly. Gee.
Used up orders.
I
like
actually
maneuver.
feel for him. I think it would have been such a different game if he had better luck with the dice. It's not a great feeling. You know you're flying as best as you can, but the dice just ain't coming up for you.
I don't know. What do you guys think? You know, is there anything else that Steve should have done there? I mean, there wasn't much he could do. He had a stress on the A-wing.
I wonder if his main problem in the beginning there wasn't having all those A-wings clustered in front of that asteroid on the left.
Could be.
Because then he had to sort of fly away from the asteroids, and that sort of split his forces up. Whereas Pierre sort of all went around the asteroid and kept his forces together, focusing down A-wings.
Yeah.
I know, that's the same thing I got, brother.
Oh, comes the K-turn.
Yeah, well played.
Yeah.
No, that's
I
good.
think we might see a dead A-wing
Yeah.
this turn.
Yeah.
Your range 1 A-wing is going to hit the water's next wing.
Oh, that's painful. That's
Bo,
gonna sting.
Bo's like waving at him, like, "Hey, buddy." It's not gonna be fun.
And Poe
Oh
shoots
my
him
word.
in the face.
That's it, eh?
That-
Those. We might still have a hole
He's got one
Yeah.
hole point
Yeah.
left, but he's got an A-wing on his tail.
in the batty. Here it comes.
And I think he's
Oh,
two hits.
two hits.
Two hits.
And evade.
Oh, lucky rolls
Yo.
for Steve.
Steve going to take the range 1.
Oh, unlucky again, just with one hit, but spinning the focus.
Oh yes, I did.
That's incredible.
It looked like Pierre changed 2 of his attacks there, 2 of the focuses on the attack. I wonder why he still had the focus token.
He
Really?
used them. He used.
No, he had the. It was 3 hits and a focus, and he used posability
Yeah.
Ah,
to change the focus to a hit.
Finally,
Going for the-
some sexy
going
flying
for the-
there.
looks like that's on the rock.
Yeah, that looks like an asteroid.
I'm not being defeated.
Well, again at this stage,
No, it looks like he missed it. He's not
No.
rolling for damage.
no, it looked clean. It was close.
Very, very close.
If he landed on the asteroid, the A-wing wouldn't have turned around.
No, completely.
But it does.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, you do complete the K-turn on an asteroid. Just not if you bump another ship.
This will probably also be okay. Oh no,
Talent
talent.
roll. He's trolling. You know Pierre.
Oh, another round of range 1 with the A-wing.
Yeah, that's gonna.
That is one of the most versatile moves they could have added to it.
I think that Po's gonna take another scalp now. I think. And yeah, just one hit
Lonely hit.
and
enough.
One
evade.
lonely evade.
Here comes the A-wing and crit and 2 hits. I think
And I think
That's
that's
it.
it.
that's it.
Game.
Holy moly, guys! That was something very interesting to watch, I must say, and 2 very interesting lists. And thank you for commenting. I love it, guys. Thank you for coming through.
It's been a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, cool, guys. And if you like the videos, please subscribe and have a good one.
Later.